I auditioned for Julius Caesar and played Portia in a pretty funny production of Julius Caesar. It was glam rock Julius Caesar. And I loved it so much. I loved it so much. And so I went to my director and I was like, what's like the fastest way to do lots of this all at once, all the time, only this? And she was like, you need to go to grad school.
I'd just gone to New York and done 3 off-Broadway shows sort of back to back to back. It was sort of like trying to figure out like, okay, what's the next step? I was working with this professional actor, John Douglas Thompson. He was like, listen, as a black man in this country, that's an education no one will ever be able to take away from you. And you may be thinking you're sacrificing 3 years, but you'll jump ahead 10 years in your career.
I think my first year was just adjusting to having conversations where people were talking about the body and the voice and feelings and, you know, what your interpretation is of what's happening without really knowing anything, without like hard science behind everything that we were doing here. It took me a long time to adjust to.
Do you feel like after 3 years you're able to like sort of work through all these different interpretations to sort of develop your own idea for how you interpret things?
Yeah, like what do I want it to be?
Yeah.
It wasn't until like maybe somewhere through second year, beginning of third year that I was like, oh, that was the whole point, was to actually decide what I wanted, what feels right for me.
Or you feel like you know yourself, or you feel like, you know, you're like working towards being a better human being, but like it takes a lot more digging in order to be the kind of human being that moves people with their storytelling abilities. I feel so much more patient with myself and with others too. So much more empathetic as a human being. Like access to emotions is something that like I never thought, you know, was something that I would be able to, you know, easily access my emotions. But like now I find myself like it's too much. Like like cool it a little bit, you know, like you know, yeah.
Take it back.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a kind of unspoken way in which we hold each other accountable, you know, in the room, that I think is an invaluable like sort of habit that's built in us now. You know, like you just know you don't mess around in the room. You know, you show up and you do your work. You know, because if you don't do your work, there's the rest of the cast is sure as hell have done their work, and you will be left behind, or you'll be slowing down the process in a way that's just like not conducive. And so like kind of get to learn and establish those habits here has been a tremendous blessing as well.
I think that's what the school teaches you to do, is to have respect for that as a career, and to undertake that with confidence and a sense of pride in what we do.